So many of us find that after the age of 65, falling asleep or staying asleep becomes a nightly battle. You lie awake, eyes wide open, watching the minutes on the clock change. 1:30, 2 o'clock, 2:15, until morning creeps in and you haven't truly rested. That feeling of exhaustion, the heaviness in your eyes, the sense of dragging yourself through the day has become all too familiar. You might even wonder if this is just what getting older means. But here's a promise, it doesn't have to be. You can regain that deep, restorative sleep you enjoyed years ago. And for some seniors, under proper supervision, a mild hypnotic can be part of a safe and effective strategy to make that happen. Why does it matter so much? The truth is, sleep is the foundation for so many areas of health: memory, mood, energy levels, even your physical balance and independence. Poor sleep can leave you vulnerable to daytime dizziness, irritability, and a diminished ability to savor the moments that truly matter. Laughing with grandchildren, enjoying a hobby, or simply taking an afternoon walk without feeling drained. When we address insomnia effectively, we're not only talking about getting more rest at night, we're opening the door to better health, stronger relationships, and a renewed sense of purpose. Many people in their late 60s and beyond share a common frustration. They've been told conflicting things about medication and sleep. One friend might say, "Don't ever take a sleep aid, it's dangerous." While another insists, "I've been on one for years with no problem." Health advice can feel chaotic, and it's hard to know what's truly right for you. That's precisely why informed guidance and a balanced perspective can be so empowering. Knowing the facts about mild hypnotics, how they work, and how to use them under the watchful eye of a qualified professional can help you make a confident decision that suits your individual circumstances. Yes, there are understandable concerns about medications in older age, particularly worries about morning grogginess, potential side effects, or interactions with other prescriptions. But this is where current healthcare approaches have evolved. More and more doctors now recognize that not all sleep medications are created equal, and some classified as mild hypnotics can be used safely for short or moderate periods when combined with the right lifestyle measures. It's about knowing what questions to ask, making sure you're monitored, and understanding your own body's signals so you can respond quickly if an issue arises. If you stay with me, we'll explore 4 essential insights about mild hypnotics and senior insomnia that can make a real difference in your life. First, we'll challenge the widespread myth that poor sleep is inevitable after 65. Then we'll dig into common fears around sleep aids and clarify which ones may pose a greater risk and which might be safer options. Next, we'll look at how proper supervision and medication management can drastically reduce potential side effects. Finally, we'll expand beyond medication alone to see how gentle routines, mental strategies, and environmental tweaks work in tandem with a mild hypnotic to deliver deeper, more fulfilling rest. I've seen people in their 70s and 80s transform their days entirely once they began addressing their insomnia in a proactive, informed way. It wasn't magic, it was education, planning, and a willingness to consider a multifaceted approach. By the end of our conversation, you might feel more hopeful about your ability to get real, restorative sleep and confident in your right to choose the path that best supports your well-being. Before we dive in, I encourage you to think of any questions or reservations you've personally held about insomnia treatments. If you're comfortable, feel free to share these thoughts with your healthcare provider afterward. It can be the first step toward a better night's sleep. This video is not intended as a prescription, but as a resource, so you'll feel more prepared to discuss options with someone who understands your unique medical profile. Ultimately, the goal is for you to reclaim your nights, your energy, and the simple joy of waking up feeling refreshed. Let's talk first about an assumption many seniors have: the idea that poor sleep is simply part of aging and there's nothing we can do about it. We often hear it said that seniors just don't need as much sleep, or if you're older, you should expect to be up half the night. So it's no surprise that when insomnia strikes, many older adults accept it as normal, maybe even inevitable. But imagine this: Susan, age 69, who for years thought it was entirely natural to sleep only 4 or 5 hours a night. She'd wake up feeling stiff, mentally foggy, and increasingly isolated. When her friends invited her out for a morning walk, she'd decline, not because she didn't want to go, but because her energy was too low from lack of rest. For a long time, Susan believed this fatigue was just the price of being in her late 60s. Then she happened to attend a local health seminar at her community center. A sleep specialist there explained that while our sleep patterns do change with age, persistent insomnia isn't something we have to endure silently. It was a revelation. The specialist shared that older adults still need roughly 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep, though the timing might shift. Some folks find they get sleepier earlier and wake up earlier. But significantly disrupted sleep, especially if it leads to daytime drowsiness or mood changes, signals something that can be addressed, not a life sentence. The myth that this is just how it is after 65 can be harmful in two ways. It prevents many people from seeking help, and it allows insomnia to worsen other health issues, such as heart concerns, cognitive function, and emotional well-being. What if part of your forgetfulness isn't only about aging, but about chronic sleep deprivation, making it harder for your brain to store new information? What if those aches and pains feel worse because your body isn't getting the recovery time it needs overnight? When we reframe insomnia as a condition that can often be managed, we open the door to practical steps. Start with small measures that many overlook, like creating a calming bedtime routine. Turn down bright overhead lights after dinner, set aside electronics an hour before bed, and take a few minutes for gentle stretching or meditation. These rituals tell your body, it's time to wind down now, and help stabilize your sleep schedule. If you're a late-night TV watcher, consider gradually turning off the screen earlier each evening. While these simple habits may sound obvious, you'd be surprised how many seniors experience profound improvement from just these foundational changes. Sometimes, however, good habits aren't quite enough. This is where a mild hypnotic can come into play. The latest understanding in geriatric care recognizes that not every sleep medication is automatically off limits for older adults. Under the guidance of a knowledgeable professional, a carefully chosen mild hypnotic can support the natural processes that help you fall asleep and stay asleep. This can give your body and mind the rest they've been missing, while you continue to reinforce healthier patterns through daytime activities like walking and social engagement. Once again, it's not about giving up your independence to a pill. It's about using a targeted tool to address a specific problem. Physically, the benefit of consistent, adequate sleep is remarkable. You might notice fewer aches in your muscles and joints because they've had time to recover. Mentally, you may find it easier to recall names, organize your day, or pick up new hobbies. Emotionally, deeper sleep can lighten your mood and make everyday challenges more manageable. Suddenly, you might even look forward to getting out of bed in the morning. If you're listening and thinking, that sounds promising, but I'm worried about becoming dependent, you're not alone. That brings us to the next key concern, which is how safe a mild hypnotic truly is for someone over 65. There's a prevalent belief among many seniors that any kind of sleeping pill leads inevitably to dependence or dangerous side effects. Given some of the well-documented problems with older, stronger sedatives, it's not surprising. Take Michael, for instance, who's 71. He was prescribed a potent sleep medication in his late 50s. After several months of nightly use, he found he couldn't drift off without it. He eventually switched doctors, learned about the risks, and was able, though it took time and effort, to wean himself off that particular drug. His experience made him deeply skeptical about any sleep aid. Here's what's different today. Medical professionals have a better understanding of which classes of sleep aids are more likely to cause dependency or have severe side effects in older adults. A mild hypnotic refers to a category of medication designed to gently nudge the brain toward the natural onset of sleep, rather than forcing a deep sedation. That lower potency means when used as prescribed, they may carry less risk of next-day grogginess, confusion, or falls. Of course, nothing is risk-free. No doctor worth their salt would claim otherwise. But if you're struggling night after night, the potential benefits might outweigh the risks if you handle the medication wisely. Evidence-based insights show that a carefully selected mild hypnotic, used for a limited duration and under medical supervision, can help older adults break the cycle of insomnia. Instead of months or years of continuous use, some doctors recommend a periodic approach, where you only use it when absolutely necessary. For example, if you have a big family event in the morning and absolutely need a good night's rest, this medication can be a short-term ally rather than an everyday crutch. How can you ensure you're using it safely? One key step is to make a written plan with your healthcare provider. This plan includes dosage guidelines, how often you can take it, and when to check back in for a possible adjustment or discontinuation. Always remember to mention any new health changes or other medications, including over-the-counter pain relievers or supplements, because interactions can happen. Even herbal teas or vitamin tablets can have an unexpected influence. In Michael's case, once he learned that not all sleep aids are created equal, he was open to trying a mild hypnotic on an as-needed basis. For a month, he tracked his sleep using a simple journal, noting when he took the pill, how many hours he slept, how he felt the next morning. Michael discovered that taking the medication 2 or 3 nights a week instead of nightly worked wonders. Soon he built enough confidence to incorporate other measures like a consistent bedtime and a short midday walk. After just a few weeks, he was achieving fairly regular, restful sleep without using the medication every night. On an emotional level, the relief can be immense. Instead of dreading the evening, wondering if you'll lie there frustrated until dawn, you have a sense of reassurance. There's a fallback plan if you truly need it. That feeling of control can reduce the anxiety that often worsens insomnia, creating a virtuous cycle of better rest and lower stress. If you're curious about how one small pill can make such a difference, remember that it's not the pill alone. It's how that pill integrates into your overall health routine, one that respects your unique body, mind, and circumstances. Next, let's look at how to monitor medications responsibly and coordinate them with your healthcare team to make sure you're truly doing this in the safest way possible. A major worry for older adults is the concept of polypharmacy, having multiple prescriptions at the same time. It's not uncommon for someone over 65 to be on blood pressure medication, cholesterol pills, perhaps something for arthritis pain, and so on. Throw a sleep aid into the mix, and you might wonder if you're courting disaster. The misconception is that any additional medication automatically spells trouble. While caution is certainly warranted, there are systematic ways to manage this effectively. Take Barbara, who's 74 and takes 3 daily prescriptions, one for high blood pressure, one for type 2 diabetes, and one for mild anxiety. She was hesitant about adding a sleep medication to her regimen, but her doctor recommended a thorough medication review with a pharmacist who checked for possible interactions, dosage overlaps, and timing. They discovered that Barbara's evening anxiety pill sometimes made her groggy at night, but she was actually still struggling to sleep due to a restless mind. The pharmacist concluded that introducing a low-dose mild hypnotic wasn't likely to cause major problems, provided they spaced out the timing between medications and monitored her carefully. Regular check-ins can't be emphasized enough. The first few weeks on a new medication can reveal side effects you and your doctor weren't expecting. Maybe you feel lightheaded in the morning, or perhaps you notice a change in mood. These signals shouldn't scare you off. They're clues guiding you and your doctor to fine-tune the approach. Sometimes a small adjustment, like taking the mild hypnotic half an hour earlier, can make a significant difference. Or you might find that you only need half the initially prescribed dosage. Each person's body chemistry is unique, especially in older adulthood, where metabolism and organ function may differ from what they were at 40 or 50. Storage and adherence strategies also matter. If you live with a partner, consider placing your medications in a pill organizer that clearly labels days and times, so you don't accidentally take a second pill in the middle of the night because you forgot the first. If you have any form of memory challenge, this system can be a lifesaver. Also, be sure to store all prescriptions in a consistent spot. Cool, dry places away from direct sunlight are generally recommended, but verify the instructions on each medication's label. When done right, the physical benefits can be profound, especially over time. By addressing insomnia, you reduce the risk of complications like falls, which can happen more frequently when you're groggy or unsteady due to poor sleep. You also help regulate hormones tied to appetite and mood, which can influence blood sugar levels and emotional well-being. Suddenly, your day-to-day life might start feeling more vibrant. Emotionally, there's a sense of reassurance that comes from knowing every member of your care team is on the same page. Instead of feeling like each medication is a separate patch on an ever-growing list of problems, you see your regimen as an orchestrated symphony. Each instrument, medication, has its part, but they work best in harmony. That synergy is the ultimate goal, using the minimal necessary prescriptions in a balanced way that supports rather than undermines your health. By taking a proactive role in medication management, you become an active participant in your own healthcare. Ask questions, request reviews, and understand how and why each prescription is serving you. This approach not only reduces your risk of dangerous interactions, it also builds confidence. When you're confident, you tend to sleep better, an often overlooked but meaningful side effect of having a well-organized plan. The next piece of the puzzle is exploring how a mild hypnotic can be just one tool among several. Let's talk about the non-medication strategies that, together with a mild hypnotic, can give you the best possible chance at a good night's sleep. It's easy to fall into the trap of believing that the only way to fix sleep problems is with a pill. Yet one of the most effective ways to combat insomnia, especially in older adults, is by combining medication with lifestyle adjustments, mental techniques, and environmental tweaks. Consider James, age 67, who'd been battling insomnia for nearly a decade. When he finally sought help, his doctor prescribed a mild hypnotic for short-term relief, but also insisted that James try a few other strategies simultaneously. It starts with what sleep experts call sleep hygiene, a fancy term for cultivating a consistent routine and environment that encourages rest. James began a wind-down routine at 8 p.m. He dimmed the lights in his living room, turned off the television, and started listening to gentle music while he did some light stretching. By 9:30, he'd read a book under soft lighting, and by 10 p.m., he was in bed. Was it a drastic change to his usual late-night Netflix habit? Absolutely. But within a week, he noticed that he felt sleepy sooner, and even without the mild hypnotic, sometimes drifted off more easily. In parallel, James incorporated a brief relaxation technique. Slow, deep breathing, where he focused on exhaling for a bit longer than inhaling. This helps activate the body's parasympathetic nervous system, the one responsible for resting and digesting, reducing the fight or flight signals that can keep the mind buzzing. Some nights, James also tried a progressive muscle relaxation exercise, tensing and then releasing different muscle groups from his toes to his forehead. The key insight is that these strategies are not gimmicks. They're evidence-based methods that encourage the body to transition into a more restful state. Cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, CBTI, is another approach that's been getting more attention. While it often requires guidance from a trained therapist, many seniors find that even learning a few CBTI basics, like setting a consistent wake-up time and avoiding excessive time lying in bed awake, can help. The aim is to retrain the mind to associate the bed with restful sleep, not with tossing and turning. Combining CBTI principles with a mild hypnotic can provide an excellent balance. The pill offers immediate relief for nights when anxiety or restlessness is high, and the behavioral strategies support long-term improvement, making it possible to reduce or even discontinue medication eventually. Environmental adjustments can be surprisingly powerful. If streetlights glare through your window, consider heavier blackout curtains. If you share a bed with a partner who snores, try earplugs or discuss strategies for addressing their snoring too. Check the temperature of your room. Most people sleep better in cooler settings. Even investing in a quality mattress that supports aging joints can make a difference. For seniors worried about their energy during the day, some gentle daily movement, like a short walk or chair exercises, can help. Physical activity appropriately paced for your fitness level tires out the body in a healthy way and can ease tension that might otherwise keep you awake at night. The emotional benefit of combining mild hypnotics with such lifestyle changes is a sense of empowerment. You realize that you're not passively waiting for the medication to do its job. You're actively shaping your environment and habits to support restful sleep. James, after a few months of this combined approach, noticed that on most nights he no longer needed the mild hypnotic. He still kept it on hand for the occasional stressful period, such as the holidays, but he discovered he could lean more on his healthy habits than the medication. Meanwhile, he reported feeling more at ease, in control, and optimistic about the future. That's a far cry from the sense of resignation he'd felt when he first walked into his doctor's office, believing a restless night was just inevitable at his age. This is a good moment to pause and invite you to consider your own sleep environment and routine. Are there any quick changes you could make right now, like moving a night light, adjusting the room temperature, or setting an earlier time to put away electronics? Sometimes the smallest shifts create a big ripple effect. And if you're thinking about a mild hypnotic, remember that these complementary strategies significantly enhance its benefits while reducing how often you might need it. At this point, we've laid out the core ideas. Insomnia is not an unchangeable fate of aging. Mild hypnotics used wisely can be safe. Proper medication management is key, and supportive lifestyle measures strengthen the overall impact. Now let's look ahead to where we go from here and how you can put this knowledge into action to transform your nights and your days. Throughout this conversation, one central theme has emerged. Having trouble sleeping as you get older isn't a certainty you must accept. If you're regularly tossing and turning, lying awake with racing thoughts, or feeling like your night's rest just isn't restorative, there are credible, balanced options. By exploring the possibility of a mild hypnotic, you can give yourself the chance to find relief. And by combining that medication with mindful routines, appropriate exercise, and strong communication with your healthcare providers, you can genuinely shift the quality of your nights and, in turn, your days. So why act now? It can be tempting to just see if it gets better, especially if insomnia has crept up on you slowly over time. But consider how quickly poor sleep can undermine other aspects of well-being. If you're feeling too tired to safely navigate stairs or even drive, that can compromise your independence. If you're irritable or forgetful because you haven't slept well, that can strain relationships with the people you care about most. This is not a scare tactic, but a reality check. Sleep has a profound impact on every corner of our lives, and acting promptly can prevent a cascade of problems. Picture yourself a few months from now, having taken proactive steps to address insomnia. You've had an open conversation with your doctor about the pros and cons of a mild hypnotic. You've possibly tried it under careful supervision, discovering the dosage and frequency that works for you. You've also created an evening routine that helps you wind down naturally, adjusting the lights, putting away the screens, maybe even playing soothing music or reading a book that inspires you. On many nights, you might find you're able to drift off peacefully without the medication at all. But on those nights when stress or worry creeps in, you have that option, used responsibly, to ensure you can still get the rest you need. It's like having a safety net that lets you focus on building new habits without the fear of another sleepless night. For some seniors, it might mean the difference between feeling confident enough to go on that long-awaited trip with friends or family and opting out because of exhaustion. For others, it might mean restoring a sense of calm and patience that transforms your interactions with loved ones. Or it could be as simple as waking up without the usual aches and mental fog, ready to prepare your own breakfast, tend to the garden, or engage in a beloved hobby. If you're ready to take the next step, here are some actions to consider. Start by logging a week's worth of your sleep patterns: bedtime, estimated sleep onset, number of awakenings, and morning wake time. Make notes about anything you ate or drank too close to bedtime, as well as your evening routine. Once you have that snapshot, book an appointment with your healthcare provider or a sleep specialist. Bring your questions and concerns. Ask about mild hypnotics by name, what options exist, what the typical side effects are, and how they might fit into your current medication regime. Discuss potential interactions with your existing prescriptions, and consider requesting a pharmacist-led medication review if you're on multiple drugs. Once you have a plan, follow it consistently for at least a couple of weeks. Keep journaling. Notice any changes in how you feel during the day. Your mood, your energy, your appetite. If something feels off or if you're experiencing side effects, speak up right away. Adjustments can be made. This is your health journey, and you have every right to be an informed, active participant. Lastly, share your story. Talk to friends, neighbors, or family members. You might be surprised at how many others are going through something similar and feel alone or unsure about what to do. By opening up about your experience, You can help foster a sense of community and collective wisdom among older adults who are all striving for better sleep and better health. As you move forward, remember that you hold the power to decide what you need and when. If you choose to include a mild hypnotic in your approach, let it be on your terms, guided by reliable medical advice, supported by good sleep habits, and monitored in a way that keeps your overall well-being front and center. The real victory comes when you recognize you're not just at the mercy of your insomnia. You have tools and resources to handle it. Better sleep is a gateway to a more joyful, energetic life, and you deserve every moment of that renewed vitality. No matter your age, you have the wisdom, experience, and agency to shape your own path toward healthy, restorative rest.